And I'm back with more Spirit of Justice. We're gonna get a man drunk so that he turns into somebody else. Because reasons. Here we go. So yeah, I've got about an hour left of this case, so yeah, 2 episodes should cut it. Yes, let's get this man drunk. Now that the sweet buns have arrived, this court is back in session. Go on, eat up. Nice flavor. You can really taste the sake. That was delicious. A unique sweetness and the faint aroma of sake. Yet I hardly think anyone could pass out from eating something like this. What's the matter, Uendo? You're not afraid of a little manju, are you? Or are you scared of how many calories it has? Don't be ridiculous. A sweet little snack like this could probably... I mean, it could never. Less bleating, more eating. Fine, whatever. See, I told you. It don't affect me in the slightest. We might be a little lightweight, but come on. Nobody's satellite. Seriously, nobody gets drunk with one little butt. Ow! There's a concussion. Duh! It looks like it worked. My witness, please tell the court your name and occupation. Huh? My name is Owen. I'm 5. You're 5 years old. Am I in trouble? Don't yell at me. He's Uendo's 4th personality? I'd hardly think a child like him could have a motive to murder a victim. And even if he had a motive, could he have actually committed the murder? That's a very good point. Owen does appear very timid and weak. It seems the defense was hoping this hidden personality would be the real killer. But now he's standing here before us. It is clear none of Uendo's personalities can be the true killer. Where can I even go from here? Shiso. Owen! Do you know something about what happened? Oh! I'm sorry, my voice is not equipped for being a 5-year-old. Would you tell Auntie and Athena? Auntie? What a scary lady. I'm not scary. I like penguins, and they totally like me. Look at her big smile. Come on, tell me about your master. Pretty please, with sugar on top. Okay. Shisho was super nice. He always played with me. Just like a real grandpa. I loved him. Athena, do you sense anything behind his words? I sense his sadness. Sadness so pure it's frustrating. It's heart-wrenching, but no discord. Sanmati's right. Owen isn't the killer. But then don't you find it odd? Find what odd? Let's review what we learned so far. Uendo rearranged the Karuta cards to put the blame on Bucky. Well, that's because the original message implicated Owen. But Owen's only 5 years old and absolutely adores Master Toneido. Exactly. The other three personalities also have no motive for murder. If Owen isn't the true culprit, then the person who first laid out the cards probably wouldn't have known Master Toneido, so then who probably wouldn't have been Master Toneido, so... Defense? Did the appearance of Owen help you figure anything out? Yes, Your Honor. I now know who it was that first laid out the Karota cards. But I thought it was the victim. No, Your Honor. I don't believe it was. The one who first arranged the Karota cards on the table was the true killer. I believe the person who laid out the cards was the very person who killed Taifu Toneido. How quickly you move on to a new target when your Owen theory proves false. You polkunen. I don't know what a polkunen is, but I know I'm definitely not one. And before you start with your sermons, why don't you hear me out? Yes, let's hear the defense's reasoning. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. But if you are bluffing, I won't go easy on you. I understand. Now then, please recall the original crime scene. Who did the Karota card's name when the scene was discovered? Let's see. I believe they implicated the defendant. That's right. But when we found out that the message... That's right, but we then found out that the message originally read Owen 4th. Which implicated the young boy. Exactly. And the person who rearranged the cards was undoubtedly Uendo. Uendo might have kept silent, but we can be sure he already knew his master was dead. His tampering with the crime scene using the TV all but proves it. The reason Uendo rearranged the Karota cards and moved the TV was because he saw Owen the 4th, and was convinced Owen committed the crime. Right on, Blackwell. It would seem that Owen and the other three personalities don't share the same memories. Uendo feared that Owen killed Master Toneido, so he tried to hide Owen from us. As it turns out, Owen is but a 5-year-old child, incapable of hurting a fly, let alone his beloved master. So naturally, the culprit must be somebody else. And this somebody else, the true killer, tried to pin the crime on Owen. I see. That does make sense. Stop breaking those! You're gonna cost yourself a lot of money. This is not but conjecture composed by half-truths and fantasy. Who then do you maintain murdered the victim? I believe Owen might know something about that. I refuse to allow such impromptu testimony, and from a 5-year-old novice. Such a young child is incapable of producing anything coherent. Blech. Your desperation is disgraceful. You should realize when it's time to... I saw it. I saw it. Owen! You do know something, don't you? Yeah. My, is this true? If so, we must have Owen testify immediately. Don't you agree? It's alright. Go ahead and tell us what you know. Shisho was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping on Shisho's face, getting it all red. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared I passed out. There, that's my best 5-year-old's impression. It's not great. This is eyewitness testimony from the moment of the murder. Oh, and can you tell us anything else about what you saw? I, I was so scared. So scared. Owen! His emotions are spiraling out of control. Something must have really spooked him. Is he alright? His emotions are running wild because he's trying to recall something frightening. I recommend a therapy session right away. Please do whatever you can to help the poor boy. Will do. Better find the cause of these out-of-control emotions pronto. Yay, another mood matrix. Let's go. We see blood on the face in the second statement. Okay.
Got it!
Yeah, that'd do it. Blood was dripping down his face. Blood? I don't remember seeing any blood in the crime scene photos. Besides, if the victim was standing upright, how could blood drip down onto his face? As I expected, all we managed to obtain from this child is a tale he dreamt up. I guess it was a little weird for blood to drip on the victim's face if he was standing up. Unless it dripped down from the ceiling or something. Wait, unless it dripped down from the ceiling or something? What do you think, Simon? I don't know. Owen's one confused and upset kid right now, so who knows how accurate his memory is. Maybe it's time for that thing instead. What thing? The thing where you add that you and your cohorts do. What do you call it? Rotate your thinking about? Oh, you mean turn your thinking around? Whatever. It's the same thing either way. No, it isn't. Anybody ever heard of rotating your thinking? Rotate. Wait a minute! What? You know what? In this case, I think rotate might just work perfectly after all. Come again? All we have to do is rotate things by 90 degrees. When he saw his master, Owen must have been lying on the floor. Owen must have been lying on the floor when he witnessed his master's murder. What? It's the conclusion I arrived to when I rotated my thinking by 90 degrees, which means that all of the visuals in my matrix were off by 90 degrees. This means Master Toneido was lying on the floor, which solves another mystery. And which mystery is that? The mystery of how blood could have been dripping onto the victim's face. It becomes much easier to imagine that if he was lying down, like someone bleeding onto Master Toneido from somewhere up above him. I remember now. Somebody was sitting up on top of Shisho. Uh-oh. So trying to recall his master's bloody killer is what spooked him. The blood that stained the victim's face red came from the person sitting on top of him. The victim was holding a knife, so he likely nicked his attacker as he was fighting back. This means his assailant was injured on his face somewhere. Like the forehead, perhaps? Assuming the victim and his attacker were face to face, then yes. I see, so that is what happened. But if I recall correctly, the accused has a fresh bandage on his forehead, does he not? Oh. That injury of Mr. Watts is conclusive evidence he committed this murder. I tried to make that all one scream. It seems you dug yourself a pit you cannot crawl out of. No. Even though I figured out the reason for Owen's out-of-control emotions, all I did was raise further suspicion against Wet. Well, it's not like he's helping his own favor. He's a drunken stupor right now. What do I do now? What's the matter? You want to think of throwing in the towel, are you? It looks so bad for Bucky. I mean, he had both motive and opportunity. Plus, he had that injury on his forehead. Your Honor, I sense that the defense is finally ready to let... Shut up! Well, Miss Sykes, I understand you don't want to give up your client, but I won't allow you to prolong this trial without a good reason. Well, that lawyer did her best, but all signs point to the defendant's guilt. Maybe it is time she gave up. She did everything she could. I really don't want to back down.
Silence!
Uh-oh. Athena, are you having doubts about Bucky's innocence? I want to say that, but do you remember what you said to Bucky earlier this morning? Were those just empty words? Of course not, it's just that all the cards are stacked against us. Are you still stuck on that line of thinking? Whoa! Motive, opportunity, and an injury to his forehead. Is that all it takes to make you stop believing in your client? Tell me again, who are you to Bucky? I'm his Miss Chickadee lawyer. Then do your duty and believe in him to the very end. I will. Simon's absolutely right. He's fucking scary up close. I'm Bucky's lawyer. He's depending on me. Defense team, please. No fighting in my courtroom. Damn. The defense is ready to resume, Your Honor. Prosecutor Blackwell is just giving me a pep talk, after all. Thank you, Simon. I didn't do it for your sake. I did it for the future of Wet Soba. Yeah, I get it. The defense would now like to continue his therapy session. Oh, would that be alright with you? Okay. Somebody was sitting on top of Shisho bleeding from their head and smushing something into Shisho's face. That's funny. What is it? I still hear discord in his voice. I don't sense any inconsistencies between his statements and emotions. There doesn't seem to be any contradictions in his testimony itself. So that's it. Did you figure something out? Your ability to sense emotions is making you focus too much on his feelings. But there's actually something he's being very vague about. If you can clarify what he's feeling uncertain about with some evidence, you should be able to move forward. Alright, that makes sense. I'll give it a try. I'll just update the mood matrix with the new info, and I'll be ready to go. So I just need to present some evidence on what he's being vague about. Okay. The crime scene report on second statement. Let's see, crime scene report.
Objection!
Let's put a name to this thing Owen's uncertain of, shall we? By identifying the murder weapon that was used to suffocate the victim. Fortunately for us, I spied a murder weapon right here in the crime scene photo. Unfortunately for you, I spied nothing of the sort. And by the police, they did not spy anything of the sort during their investigation either. Pray tell, where is this murder weapon you see? You don't see it because it no longer looks the way it did when it was a weapon. This is what was pressed into Master Toneido's face.
Take that!
The mystery person that Owen saw pressed Soba into the victim's face, thereby suffocating him. I grow weary of your tasteless jokes. How could anyone commit murder with soft, delicate Soba? The noodles would instantly fall apart if they were pressed into someone's face. I agree. Well, I disagree. There is a way the Soba could have been used to suffocate the victim. You will explain that theory at once. How somebody came up with this idea, I don't know. Did somebody ever try to kill somebody with noodle dough before? I mean, I guess it's possible. But still. The culprit must have used the soba before it was cut into noodles. In other words, the murder weapon was raw soba dough. What? That sounds stupid even for this game. Let me guess, there really was a crime scene like this once. They had to have come up with it somewhere. Order in the court. Soba dough could definitely be used to suffocate someone, couldn't it? Are you alright, Sadmati? I was just letting the soul of the victim know that the accused will finally face justice thanks to the foolish lawyer before me. Huh? What are you talking about? Allow me to summarize your statements. As the accused was killing the victim, he was slashed in the face by the victim's knife. The weapon he used to suffocate the victim was the dough in the dressing. He then disposed of the murder weapon by cutting it into noodles. Ah! Why, you smarmy. Afterwards, the accused put the victim's face into the bowl of soba noodles and broth to wash off the blood that has dripped onto the victim's face. And there you have it. The true sequence of events between the foul affair. Hey, wait just a minute. I never once said that Mr. Wet was the culprit. Who but the accused knows how to cut dough into noodles? That's a very good point. I heard cutting soba dough into uniform noodles requires considerable training. But then what about the dying message? How do you explain that? The defendant wouldn't have known about Uendo's own personality. Perhaps the victim was simply playing with the cards and they hold no other meaning. Perhaps he spelled out Owen's name in jest, sometime before the murder. From Owen's testimony, it's clear Master Toneido cared for the boy. It appears we've arrived at a compelling conclusion. Taken together, all these points paint a convincing picture of the defendant's guilt. Owen! Is there anything else you could tell us? It doesn't matter how small a detail, anything! You're scaring me. Oh, I'm sorry. Auntie Athena didn't mean to raise her voice. I gotta be gentler with him. Can't forget he's only 5. I need to be scared, okay? Just tell me everything you can remember. Well, when I woke up, the person who chewed shisha was standing over me, bleeding from their head. You saw the killer's face? Who was it? Do you remember? I don't know who it was. Picking up some noise. It means there's still something to uncover here. I don't know what Owen saw, but suffice it to say, we are analyzing the dreams of a child. You've wasted enough of your time, defense. Let it go and move on. No! There's still discord in his heart that needs to be addressed. Therefore, I can't give in here. Owen, do you think you can continue your testimony? Okay. I'll enter the new info and run an update. Okay, so happy emotion at 6th statement. Okay, weird. Huh?
Got it!
Weird. Despite witnessing the culprit's terrible crime firsthand, he experienced a positive feeling of relief? The person who we saw was no stranger. Rather, it was the accused. Therefore, it's only natural he felt some level of relief when he saw a familiar face. Defense, end this madness and sully your soul no more. Oh, and who did you see? That nice smell. I love the smell of that perfume. Bye-bye. Bucky does not strike me as the person to wear perfume. The smell of... You can do it. Try to remember. It's the smell of... No, it's not the smell of... Ugh! Owen! Yeah, that's not the smell... The smell of perfume does not strike me as a Bucky thing. It seems Owen is resting in the infirmary. They certainly have had their hands full today down there. Let's continue the trial. Despite Owen's testimony, it is the opinion of this humble servant of the Holy Mother that the child's words were insufficient to clear the accused of suspicion. But what about the scent of perfume that they mentioned? I believe it's a clue that will lead us to the true culprit. But there are thousands of perfumes in the world. It could even be the scent of hair product that the accused uses. He does have one amazing hairstyle, that's certainly possible. The witness is a 5-year-old boy. He cannot tell the difference between conventional perfumes and hair products. Why couldn't you have just gone for a crew cut or something, Bucky? What's more, the only person who can cut soba noodles with precision is the accused and no other. Oh man, how am I supposed to argue with that? And so, the person Owen saw at the scene can only be the accused, Bucky Wet. Huh? 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 What the? Huh? I never use hair products or anything like that. If it were something like that, the smell would get into the soba. Boom! Check it. Mr. Wet, aren't you supposed to be resting? Whatever! You think my soba stink of perfume? Try to chilled soba for yourself and see. Oh, we've had manju and now we have soba. I believe we have no choice but to try it. Strictly for examination purposes, of course. Let's dig in, shall we? That was delightful. I'm satisfied that there are no traces of hair products or perfumes in wet soba. First, manju sweet buns, then celery soba. What a delectable trial this has been. This texture is different from the soba I had the other day. It reminds me of a dish we have in Kuran called banupan. What's that, Miss Chickadee? My soba's pretty good. It's so delicious, don't you think so, Simon? Still pale in comparison to his late father's cuisine. I mean, why are you always gonna be so hard on me? Take the defendant back to the infirmary so he doesn't puke everywhere. I ain't a lump of plain old wheat. No, you know? I'm fresh like my soba. Soba dough rush is about the 3 freshes. Grind the seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil. How did you rollerblade sideways, by the way? Good grief, what a defendant. At least maybe now I can stop with the fake drunk noise. Wait. At least Bucky doesn't smell like the source of perfume. Wait, smelling perfume? It looks like you remembered something. The phrase smelly perfume reminded me of a certain somebody. And who might that be? There's only one person that comes to mind. The phrase smelly perfume reminds me of Toneido.
Take that!
Yeah, she did smell very nice, didn't she? Hold your horses there, Judge. Be careful how you phrase that. Just a moment, defense. You would throw suspicion on Geiru because of a scent? Your Honor, there's no need to go along with these ever-changing claims of the defense. I suppose their claims have been awfully inconsistent, but Geiru could have been at the crime scene. Yes, but you'll get to see those balloons of hers if you take her back to the witness stand. Ugh! How vulgar! His Honor is not interested in such things. Balloon! Setting the matter of her balloons aside, I do believe it's appropriate to ask Geiru some questions, given the circumstances. This has nothing to do with her balloons, of course. Thank you. Oh, Pokunka. Balloon! Thank you for calling this disciple of Toneido School back for an encore. It's me, the balloon artist you all know and love, Geiru Toneido. 1, 2, balloon! What wonderful balloon artistry! Your Honor, please. Now then, what would you like me to make for you this time? Actually, I called you back for more testimony. But I'm all talked out. This case left me a bit deflated. Completely deflated. What? You didn't find that funny? Anyway, what exactly is going on, Simon? It seems the person who murdered Master Toneido was wearing perfume. And you were the only person I can think of who wears perfume. Wait, you mean I'm a suspect now? Geiru, you knew about Owen, right? Well, yeah, I often played with him at Shisho's request. So that means you could have left that fake dying message. What? Just because they wear perfume and no Owen? You think I'm a murderer? How could you? The witness is absolutely right. With no evidence but the distorted memories of a small child. It is outrageous for the defense to accuse this woman. That's right. You don't even have any proof. You may step down from the stand. The defense does not have one scrap of evidence that connects you to the crime. Oh, wait just a minute. I may not have proof, but Owen's testimony is still enough. Feel free to leave. But I'm so close, there must be something I can do. Well, if the prosecutor says it's okay, I guess I'll going. Uh-oh. This prosecutor said no. Hoy, you're an entertainer, aren't you? Once you go on stage, it's your duty to complete your performance, is it not? So what are you doing leaving halfway through? Uh-oh. There's a bandage on her forehead. And since we know Master Toneido's killer had a cut on her face somewhere... Impossible. How did you know? I didn't. But I had to take a chance and see for myself. Otherwise, your theory would remain as groundless as a groundless accusation. Your Honor! Sadmati! The scent of perfume, an injury to the forehead, these things are completely consistent with Owen's testimony. In short, the mysterious individual Owen saw in the dressing room could have been Geiru. Miss Sykes, does this mean you are formally indicting this witness for the murder of Taifu Toneido? Should your accusation prove false, I hope you are prepared to pay the price in full. Simon, what price is he talking about? I thought it should be obvious. Sad monk is saying you'll see to it you never stand in a court of law again. I must say, though, he knows how to make a trial interesting. Just whose side are you on, anyway? Go on, then, into the deep end with you. You really only have one choice, anyway. With regards to the witness, I choose to indict her. There's no reason for me to hold back. Not if I really believe in my client. The defense wishes to formally indict Geiru Toneido for the murder of Taifu Toneido. I have tried to be merciful, but now even your pleas will reach them. Not even your pleas will reach the Holy Mother's ears. You will have plenty of time to regret your decisions in the pit of hell. Except I won't need to. The person who murdered the victim was not Mr. Wet. It was Geiru Toneido. That bandage is from a silly slip-up yesterday. What kind of extreme cooking were you doing to cut yourself in the forehead? Well, what can I say? It's what happened. You don't have an alibi for that period before 4, do you? I really don't know anything of what was wrong with him until he was found dead. You don't believe me? Then you're the twisty twist. And Bloon! There you have it, my adorable little kitty. How could you suspect a cutesy-wootsy balloon artist like me? I've been meaning to say this for a while, but could it be that you don't have an eye for balloon art? Don't you think I know that? You don't have to come out and say it. I'm the daughter of a Rakugo artist. I never wanted to do balloon art. I was supposed to be a storyteller just like my late daddy. But Shisho told me to do balloon art instead. Guess the victim thought she had no talent as a Rakugo artist either. You're still gonna suspect a poor little thing like me? Please stop trying to skirt the issue. It all comes down to the scent of perfume and the cut on your forehead. You and the culprit in Owen's testimony share those two traits. You're dead set on accusing me, aren't you? Well, here's what I have for a naughty little girl like you. With a twisty twist. Oh! I'ma cut you, witch! Go ahead. Make me testify all you want. When the truth's finally revealed, it'll be your balloon versus mine that goes pop. Got it?
Is this yet another hidden personality?
Simon, is everybody at the Toneido school like this?
How should I know?
Uh-oh. Okay. Well, I think we've got to the serious part now. Oh, shit. Okay. The final cross-examination. Well, gee, I think this tells you all you need to know about where we're going. But yes, Geiru has been cornered, and we're going to talk to her some more, and she's going to probably smack us with some balloons while we're trying to. So, we'll see you next time.